Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at NDN TV Nigeria. Click on the subscribe button and be the first to get notifications. And now, let's join ace broadcaster MAMODE AKUGHA as he takes us inside the Niger Delta.
Hello out there and welcome to the program. It's Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region. I'm your regular host, MAMODE AKUGHA. Constrained by the long-range bureaucracies associated with the processes of the Treasury single account in carrying out its mandate of ensuring sustainable peace and development in the Niger Delta region, the management of NDDC is appealing to the federal government to consider as a matter of urgency the exemption of the intervention agency from the framework to meet the yearnings of the people, as well as remedy the widespread infrastructure deficit across the region. Managing Director, Dr. Samuel Ebuku, who made the appeal recently, stated that the TSA has made it impossible for the Commission to partner with financial and development institutions to deliver high-impact projects in the region.
Treasury Single Account TSA, first proposed in 2012, came into full swing in 2015 under President Muhammadu Buhari. The policy advocates for a single purse or a set of linked accounts to ensure adequate monitoring of government revenue and expenditures, as well as block leakages. This came with some bottlenecks that have rather been a clog in the wheels of effective service delivery of special agencies like the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC. The special purpose vehicle established in 2000 to tackle the paradox of widespread poverty, youth unemployment and restiveness, as well as environmental despoilation that characterize the region, producing 95% of Nigeria's income. Like its predecessors such as the Niger Delta Basin Development Authority, NDBDA, and Oil Mineral Producing Development Areas Commission, OMPADEC, that could not achieve much due to funding and other systemic issues, the NDDC is faced with a huge hurdle with the introduction of TSA that now militates against its optimal performance.
It is very, very difficult under the Procurement Act for you to publish contracts to award without you having the cash backing. In the pre-TSA era, NDDC achieved a lot because there was flexibility for NDDC to partner with banks. There was flexibility for even contractors to even get APGs.
Resulting from this government and procedural bottleneck is the over 13,000 abandoned projects that, instead of meeting the yearnings of the people, serve as a bitter reminder of the critical infrastructure deficit and woes of the people, ironically blessed with black gold. It is against this backdrop that the Managing Director of the Niger Delta Development Commission, Dr. Samuel Ebuku, conveys this all-important appeal to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to exempt the interventionist agency from the TSA, given its peculiarity and the development needs of the people of the region.
If the government can review the stance of NDDC under the TSA by taking the NDDC out of TSA so that the NDDC can have flexibility. NDDC is self-funded. With the self-funding monies expected from the IOCs, with the self-funding monies expected from the statutory allocation, NDDC can actually tie some of these funds to specific projects using financial institutions to develop the Niger Delta aggressively.
Following on the tracks of the Federal Capital Territory that was exempted from the framework in October by President Tinubu to allow for unrestrained service delivery in the capital city, former MD of the Commission, Timi Alaibe, observes that the Commission should as well be given the same considerations. Alaibe noted that during his time at the Commission, he was able to partner with banks to finance legacy projects, while submitting that the current management should be extended that opportunity.
NDDC is very important in the interventioning interventionist projects or programs in the Niger Delta such that it needs to be freed of bureaucracy. Unnecessary bureaucracy and red tapeism will not work. And it's so important if we want to get sustainable peace and development in the Niger Delta.
The exemption of the NDDC from the TSA will avail the current board the much awaited opportunity to embark on major legacy projects, among which is the construction of specialist hospitals, hundreds of kilometers of roads and bridges connecting coastal villages and towns with city centers, among many other critical needs of the people, through partnership with banks and other development stakeholders, while also defraying the humongous debt owed contractors over the years.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Over 15 years after it was first awarded, the Ughelli-Asaba Highway is finally receiving the attention it deserves. The 162-kilometer highway was awarded for construction by the government of Governor Emmanuel Udwanga. It was given little attention by the Governor Ifeanyi Okowa administration, and finally, it is now being reconstructed by the administration of Governor Sheriff Oborewori. The Isoko axis, which was the worst part of the road, is already wearing a new look, courtesy of Governor Oborewori's commitment to the construction of the all-important road, which is the single road for the Ijos, Ishekiris, Urobos, and Isokos to get to the state capital, Asaba. I am standing in the Isoko end of the Ughelli-Asaba Highway. It's a critical and very, very important road. However, as you can see behind me, that the road, obviously, one side of it is still under construction, not to talk of the other side. I can hazard a guess that it's going to be practically impossible for Governor Ifeanyi Okowa to complete this road before he leaves office.
That was in 2022 when we focused on the very bad situation of the Isoko axis of the Ughelli-Asaba road. However, from the minute he took over the reins of government in Delta State, Right Honorable Sheriff Oborewori commenced the reconstruction of the Ughelli-Asaba road. It was his very first official visit to any project in the state when he directed its speedy completion.
This road is very key to all of us in Delta State, not only to the Isoko people, but to Deltans. This is the only road we can use to access the capital. So it's very key to us, and we want it to be completed as soon as possible.
To ensure compliance with his directives, Governor Oborewori ensured regular monthly payment for the contractor handling the project.
I put spikes, I always come with good. I know some few months ago, it wasn't like that. But now it has changed. I'm getting message. And the contractor is on ISPU, so we can't delay statement.
During their recent visit to congratulate Governor Oborewori over his court victories in the cases arising from the gubernatorial election, leaders of Isoko Nation led by the President General of Isoko Development Union, Professor Chris Akpotu, confirmed the spate of work on the Isoko axis of the highway and thanked the governor for keeping to his promise.
You gave us one promise, and as a man of integrity, you've been able to live up to that promise. And what is it? The Ughelli-Isoko-Asaba road, the level of work that is ongoing there, I tell you that Isoko people are very, very happy.
Several Isoko indigents and users of the road commend Governor Oborewori for attending to the long-neglected road.
We are rejoicing about the road now because we really suffered about the road for a very long time.
So governor go come, they go do a halfway, they go come out. And as they do ourselves, go they spoil. But this our governor, Sheriff, is trying his best. We see a hand, the way he take the handle things in this state, things has changed. Especially this road matter.
Also receiving attention is the Emevo of Rogbo Orogun Road. This road, which was a major issue of confrontation between Emevo youth and immediate past government in the state, is finally receiving the attention it deserves. Professor Akpotu, who described Governor Oboriowori as a worthy in-law, says he is not surprised at the attention the governor is giving to the Isoko nation, while requesting for more projects like the construction of the Igbide-Olomoro Road. Professor Akpotu further drew the attention of the governor to recent information about the relocation of Faculty of Management Sciences of the Delta State University of Science and Technology from Ozoro to Orerokpe.
As that wonderful in-law that you have always been to us, we must bring matters like this to your table. We hear Faculty of Management Science is about to be moved out of that place.
In his response, Governor Oboriowori says as his in-laws, he cannot take any decision that will be detrimental to the Isoko nation. The governor informed the Isoko leaders that the state government has secured the approval of the National University Commission (NUC) for the operation of 3 more faculties at the university. The faculties are Basic Medical Sciences, Pharmacy and Health Sciences. Former chairman of the Social Democratic Party SDP in Delta State and an Isoko indigene, Dr. Oke Idawene, says the relocation of the faculty should not be viewed as a minus by his kinsmen.
Some time ago, Africa gave Isoko nation 2 faculties, engineering and law. What you're seeing is even distribution of infrastructural development in the states. The governor has also given the university in Ozoro 12 additional courses. He's only taking that as the more agenda mantra to also develop particular local government that is not having a state presence to get the university there.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Igbide Kingdom in Isoko South local government area of Delta State was last week thrown into utter confusion as 2 kings were installed for the kingdom within a spate of 3 days. Prince Ozade Obukeni, son of the immediate past monarch of the kingdom, and Prince Patrick Agre of the royal family are both laying claim to the kingship stool, which has been vacant since 2021, when His Royal Majesty Edward Obukeni I joined his ancestors after ruling the kingdom for an unprecedented 47 years. He was the longest reigning monarch in the whole of Isoko Kingdom and the 2nd longest in Delta State. What is, however, rather curious about the crowning of the 2 kings is that both coronations were performed by the regent, otherwise known as the Oyoroba of Igbide Kingdom, His Royal Highness Michael of Ade. About 3 years ago, chiefs and people of Igbide Kingdom formally announced the passing of their monarch, His Royal Majesty Edward Obukeni I, the Ovi of Igbide Kingdom. The announcement threw the kingdom into a period of mourning. As tradition demands, Igbide Kingdom had to wait for 3 years before the installation of another king. In the meantime, His Royal Highness Michael of Ade was appointed regent for the kingdom, otherwise known as Oyoroba. By January this year, the 3-year waiting period had lapsed, and the general expectation was that a new king was going to be crowned. He is also expected to be presented by the Royal Esaba ruling house of Igbide Kingdom. However, the ruling house, which consists of 4 sub-families, could not come to a consensus and present an heir apparent. According to Chief Gospawa Okporo, the Ojon Olugbo of Igbide Kingdom, the Esaba ruling house had conducted an election in which Prince Ozade Obukeni emerged as the winner.
146 members, eligible members of the family voted. The man who was selected had 126. The one who contested with him had 20.
However, members of 3 sub-families within the 4 families ruling house insisted that the Obukeni sub-family, which had presented the last king, cannot present the next king. As a result, Prince Ozade Obukeni cannot mount the throne, as he is the son of the immediate past monarch, a situation that is traditionally unacceptable in Igbide Kingdom, as his kingship is not hereditary. In spite of this protest, Prince Ozade Obukeni was presented to the kingmakers, otherwise known as Ogbedio, last year for approval. In the letter dated July 1st, 2023, the Ogbedioin Council rejected Prince Ozade Obukoni and asked the royal family to present another candidate. Despite Prince Ozade Obukoni's rejection by the kingmakers, some members of the royal family proceeded to the Ole High Court in Delta State seeking a judicial pronouncement that Prince Ozade Obukoni cannot be king of Igbide Kingdom. The court, presided over by Justice C.O. Emifoniye, however, on the 21st of February 2024, struck out the matter for lacking in jurisdiction. Within 24 hours of the release of the court judgment, Prince Ozade Obukoni was crowned King of Igbide Kingdom by the regent, His Royal Highness Michael Ovade. This was immediately greeted by protests across the town by placard-carrying indigents. According to Gospel Akboro, the claim of the protesters is misplaced, as the edict guiding the succession to the throne of Igbide Kingdom does not specify that a son of a king cannot succeed the king.
All male members, whether patrilineal or matrilineal, can be king.
Though it is not stipulated in the edict, it is, however, an age-long practice that a king cannot be succeeded by his son in Igbide Kingdom. As former traditional Prime Minister and Otota of Igbide Kingdom, the late Chief Dennis Italuku revealed in a television program, Heritage, some years ago.
When an Ovie exists, it is not hereditary, but there is a family. They rotate it within that house.
While people in the kingdom were still trying to come to terms with the installation of Prince Ozade Obukoni as King of Igbide Kingdom, another coronation was performed as Prince Patrick Agre was crowned by the same regent, His Royal Highness Michael Ovade. According to the regent who performed the two coronations, his crowning of Prince Ozade Obukoni was done under duress as he was threatened.
I was forced to do something other than risk. But now I have come to my conscience.
In a letter to the Deputy Governor of Delta State, Sir Monde Oyeme, signed by some of the kingmakers, otherwise known as the Ogbedio, they have disassociated themselves from the coronation of Prince Ozade Obukoni and insisting that the kingmakers are yet to agree on any candidate as Ovie of Igbide. While the kingdom engages in different strategies to resolve this dilemma, the Delta State government must step into the matter to prevent a possible breakdown of law and order within the community.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Azikiel Group, oil and gas, dredging, power and air transportation. Azikiel Group, petroleum product sufficiency, energy sustainability and infrastructure development.
The Niger Delta Development Commission NDDC has expressed satisfaction with the quality of work on the recently completed Amanku and the Amuvi-Atani Road and streetlights in Arochukwu, Abia State. During the inspection of the uncompleted 8-kilometer Atani Phase 2 road, the Executive Director of Projects, Victor Antai, said the Commission will explore ways of linking states and communities and local governments together, as it will form part of its legacy for the Niger Delta region.
Arochukwu local government area of Abia State shares boundaries with two other states of the region, which are Akwa Ibom and Cross River states. Despite this proximity, it is difficult to commute between communities along this axis due to bad or non-existent link roads. It is therefore against this backdrop that Mr. Antai made known the current board and management's commitment to ensuring it bequeaths a legacy of an interconnected Niger Delta region.
Trying to link the three states together, Abia, Cross River and Akwa Ibom State, is going to be one of the legacy projects of Dr. Samuel Uboku in the Niger Delta region.
The Ezeogo of Atani Village, His Royal Highness Dr. Charles Kanu Okoro, expressed joy over the new state of the road while recalling how difficult it was to use the road before its rehabilitation.
This road used to be a track road. No vehicle applied this road, but today it's a motorable place. So we thank NDDC.
Residents of Atani and other surrounding communities also expressed their profound gratitude to the intervention agency for the repairs that have made commuting smooth and easy.
I'm happy too much that I'm trekking in this road without any problem, without any poto.
NDDC is wonderful for remembering us in this way.
Arochukwu local government area is home to the famous and revered Igbo kingdom, known the world over for its rich cultural heritage and long-standing monarchy. The recent intervention of NDDC within its corridors will go on to meet the yearnings of the people for social and physical infrastructures that have slowed the growth and development of their communities in time past.
Inside the Niger Delta.
While reflecting on the conclusion of their tenure in office, Bayelsa State Governor Senator Doyediri congratulated all outgoing cabinet members for the gains of their meritorious service to Bayelsa State in the last 4 years of his administration. At a valedictory session held at the executive chambers of the government house, the governor acknowledged their dedication and sacrifice to the state since their inaugural meeting in August 2020 and hinted that as his administration transcends some of the outgoing cabinet members will be reappointed to serve in his second term to continue the vision of a prosperous Bayelsa State.
Governor Doyediri's first term in office officially ended on the 14th of February 2024 in a glamorous oath-taking ceremony for his second-term administration held in Bayelsa State. Senator Diri and his deputy Lawrence Eurujakpo will be taking the saddle of affairs in Bayelsa State after winning 6 of the 8 local government areas of Bayelsa State in the November 2023 gubernatorial election in the state. The governor, who by taking his oath for a second term dissolved the cabinet, appreciated the efforts and contributions of all the 26 members who have done well in their service to the state. Former cabinet members from the 3 senatorial districts of the state appreciated the governor for the opportunity to serve, while some political appointees say their capacity and experiences have been greatly enriched over the course of their service to the state.
Excellency, I want to also thank you for putting all of us together, the bond we have in this ESCO.
For his part, the deputy governor of the state, Senator Eurujakpo, who is in charge of chieftaincy, community development and local government affairs, showered encomiums on the governor for a good working relationship and his goodwill towards the cabinet members as he appreciated the members for the good time they shared.
I want to turn to His Excellency for this unprecedented benevolence. What you have done now, you may not know, but those of us who are the recipients knows.
Senator Diri, in his response, recalled his legacy of peace, security and unity that has come to define the equality of the people of Bayelsa State. The governor said, together as a team, the state has made giant strides by building legacy projects and initiating life-changing programs and policies which he believes are the reason why they voted him for a second term, which commenced on the 14th of February 2024.
Together, we have seen the fruits of our labor as we have worked to uplift communities, address systemic issues, and bring about meaningful change in our dear state.
In the coming weeks, Bayelsa State government will inaugurate a new executive council, and the governor has reiterated that some members of the previous council could be reappointed and reassigned to other equally important offices with a solemn responsibility to make meaningful and lasting impacts in the life of the people of Bayelsa State.
Inside the Niger Delta.
About 8 months into President Bola Tinubu's administration, the unprecedented rise in the cost of goods and services has sparked agitation and panic among many Nigerians who can no longer bear the harsh prevailing economic situation that has made it near impossible to have 3 square meals, as it were, in the beginning. Nigerians are urging the government to immediately initiate policies that will be more impactful in addressing the state of the nation. Our correspondent, Leji Dagus, reports on the condition in the oil-rich Niger Delta and also brings to you details from the recent hunger protests in Edo State.
Most recently, the country has been plunged into an unprecedented food crisis, with food inflation hitting over 33%. In a bid to tackle this rather troubling economic situation, President Tinubu set up a federal government committee on emergency food intervention to unlock grain reserves, an initiative that has been of little or no effect at all. The complaints and suffering of ordinary Nigerians have been greeted with protests in Niger, Kano, Ondo, Oyo, and most recently Edo State, where their demands is the same.
We are tired of the government of the Nigerian state as a result of hunger and starvation in our land.
Still grappling with the multiplier effects of the removal of petrol subsidy and the wobbling price of fuel with no respite in sight, which has led to the return of queues in filling stations across the country. Commercial bus drivers in Port Harcourt, Rivers State are calling on the federal government to urgently address the issue.
What I have from them is that little subsidy they pay for me to enable me to see little food and my children at home.
Right now we are buying fuel a liter. Some are saying 900, some are saying 850, some are saying selling 950, as the case may be. If government will go back to subsidy, it will help us a lot.
Without a doubt, the Central Bank of Nigeria's Naira floating policy and its attendant devastating impact on the value of the Naira has impacted so much on businesses and households due to the country's import-dependent economy that has led to the current pressure on the Naira.
If you import goods now, the landing cost, when you pay for import duty, you cannot even sell the money that you used to.
This dollar of a thing, everybody shouting, it's because of dollar, because of dollar. Please, government should come in.
Poor and vulnerable Nigerians whose purchasing power can no longer afford the ever-increasing prices of goods and services due to inflationary forces in play are calling on the government to step in to ensure they survive.
The way things is high, you sell something, it's no gain. And that makes some women, because of they could not avoid the price of things, they steals in the market. You see a woman dressed very well will come and carry somebody's bag.
If they continue it like this now, people will die. People will perish because of expensive of things.
The Tinubu-led government has come under heavy backlash recently for reasons bordering on the biting economic realities of the day, as citizens with decent income can no longer support and provide for their families.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Well, that's the size of our package on the program for today. Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region, will be back same time, same station next week. Until then, you can follow us on our social media handles shown right now on your screens. And please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at NDNTV Nigeria. Until next week, I am MAMODE AKUGHA thanking you for staying tuned. Bye for now.